sure you heard the door close. I'm going to try and teach. Hi. We're going to do a vocabulary pyramid. As you can see, Mr. E, he's been copyrighted now. The whole thing. I had an idea for this lesson. I'm feeling rather dejected right now, but I'm going to teach you about JECT. Okay? JECT is a root in English. JECT means to throw. Okay? So we're going to look at this. JECT. See how happy I've gotten? I've changed, right? I'm projecting energy. I'll explain for you in a second. JECT in English means throw. Why? Well, JECT is really Latin. So in Latin, anything with JECT added to it means to throw or pass on. Okay? So JECT equals throw. So why don't we look at the pyramid? I'll go through the pyramid. If you've done this before, we'll read the story. Then I'll go over the story again and explain how each one becomes a word. Okay? So, Mr. E wanted me to help him with his latest project. When he began to lay out my plan, he began to object. Mr. E would interject every time I would try to inject some fun into the subject. This is called the alliteration. Well, not really. It's usually with the first letter, but I'm just doing JECT alliteration. Finally, he decided to reject my idea and ejected me from his room, and I left dejected. That was the bang of the door and me crying. Now you're going to go, how does JECT have to do with this, this, and this? Let's do it. Let's go to the board, okay? First thing, Mr. E wanted me to help him with his project. Well, JECT means throw, which you have here. But what does pro mean? Pro, sorry, he ejected me again. There. Take that, Mr. E. Pro means forward. Forward. It means for or forward. For means when you're for something, you support it. Oh, snow. Oh, snow. You support it. It's your team, right? Forward means ahead of you, front. So when you project something like, oh, I'm projecting my voice. I'm throwing it forward. Okay? So in this case, a project is something you're working on. Well, as a noun, when we use project as a noun, it means something you're working on. I have a project I'm working on. I'm working on it now, so in the future, which is forward, it will be completed. Now, when I project something like a missile, I throw it forward. Okay? So you can project your voice, right? Or project a thing. Or you have a project, something that will be completed in the future because it's forward. Good. We got pro and we got forward. All right? So that's the noun, right? Project. But we can also do it as a verb, as in to throw. So a project. Okay? First part. So we're working on a project. Next one. I began to lay out my plan when he began to object. You studied grammar, so you know an object is usually the receiver on a subject, right? Because what does ob mean? I'm sure you're going, what does ob mean? Ob is interesting because it means opposed. Well, you know, different color. Opposed to this one. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, it means opposed. Okay. Or positioned against. So in this case, when we say object, it's positioned against what? Usually as subject. Okay, so when we're talking in a noun, you have a subject and an object. An object is a thing. This is an object. This is an object. This is an object. I personally object to this, okay? That's the second one. Object is also a verb. You can object to something. You go to court, I object! It means I am opposed or against that idea. He's objecting to what you're suggesting. He doesn't like it, he is against it. Okay? So now we've noticed object can be both a noun, which is, this is an object. Or you can object to be given a ticket. It's paid for, see, I paid, it's okay. Alright? So object is a verb. Okay? So here we have a project, but he's objecting, he's saying no to this. What's next in the story? Mr. E would interject every time I would try to inject. These seem very, very similar. They are close, so let's take a look. Interject. Well, what does inter mean? Inter means between. Between. Interrupt, break into the conversation, you get between the two people. Interject is to throw something inside the conversation. So if Ezekiel and I are talking, and Sylvester, he's a cat, we'll introduce him another time. Sylvester comes and talks, he goes, in my opinion, I'd like to say, I go, you're interjecting, you're coming between us and throwing your opinion in between two. See? Do. Ezekiel, James, Sylvester. He's interjecting his opinion between, throwing it between. Cool? All right. So, in this case, I'm talking about the project. Okay? He begins to object and interject every time I would speak. So I said, I think, he'll go, I would like to interject and say. Interject. Okay? Now, inject. You're not children, and I'm sure you're good people. So let's use the good medical one. Inject. We saw inter means between. Well, when you're between two things, right? If you think you're between two things, there's an outside here and an outside here. You could also say I am in the middle, or on the inside. In has a few meanings, but let's just stick with the one for the story today, okay? In this case, in could be inside. Okay, when you go to the doctors, sometimes you're sick, or if you're coming to Canada and you're from one of those countries that need to get injections, you go, injection, yeah, sure. To inject something, which is a verb, you would take a medicine, put it in with a needle, and put it in the arm, and push, and it goes inside your body. You inject it, you throw it in the body. Why? Bodies, boys and girls, are not meant to have things put inside, except for food in this hole, and come out the other hole. That's it. So when you inject things in your body, only do it with medical assistance by a prescribed doctor. Okay, you're throwing stuff into the body that it would normally not put in. You inject it. Okay, so right now I'm injecting some enthusiasm into the lesson. I'm putting it in. I'm throwing it in there for you. Okay, so he would interject every time I would try to inject some fun into the subject. Dun, 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 dun. That's my Star Wars voice. I'm going to slow down now. Dun, 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 dun. That's Spanish starts again. Okay, so sub. If you've been to Canada or America, or you've gone to Subway, the eating store, sub means, whoops, red marker only, people. Red marker. Red means look, pay attention. Attention. Attentiono. Okay? JECT. Sorry. Got crazy. I should have a blooper reel. Really, I should. You should see all the stuff I make mistakes on. Under. Under. It means under. So, subject is rather interesting. Notice with object and project, we had a noun-verb combination. Interject and inject, I just talked about the the verb usage. Subject is similar to object and project. It can have a noun or a verb. Noun you're used to. You do grammar, the subject is the person or the doer of the sentence. Subject. Okay? But we also have subject as a verb, and what does that mean? Well, we know throw is ject, and sub is under. Now this is going to be confusing because you're thinking, well, throw is an action. So what does it mean when I use the noun, and how does it translate into the verb? Well, the subject is the doer of the sentence. It is the most important part of the sentence. Everything in the sentence comes under the subject. Subject, right? I am eating. Everything comes under because I am doing it. Everything is related to that. I am the most important thing. Or you, if you're the subject. That's the first part of under. This, everything else must come. Second part, and the verb part, subject. Let's imagine this is garlic. And let's imagine this is how much garlic you need to eat for a meal to be good. Not tasty. Disgusting. Now imagine I eat all of this garlic. Oh, disgusting. My breath would be horrendous. My breath would be terrible. You could smell me. I bet you can smell right now off your screen. Move away. Woo, garlic breath. Okay? So I would subject you to something terrible. What does that mean? I would put you under something terrible. When somebody subjects you to something, they do something that's awful that you must suffer or feel pain from. I was subjected to somebody with bad breath, meaning they kept talking and breathing on me and I wanted to die. Okay? Subjected. Or your teacher could subject you to questions, right? They put you under questioning. They keep asking you questions. Oh, subject. Don't subject me to bad behavior. Don't put me in a situation where I must endure. Endure means like live with pain or have it happen to me on an ongoing basis. Okay? So we got subject. Now you know the verb and now you know the noun. Now, reject and eject. Man, this lesson's getting long. I gotta get out of here before they reject my visa. Alright. Reject. R-E, we've done this before, I believe, hopefully, means back or again. When you use R-E, it's either back or again, or sometimes a combination of the two, because if you do it again, sometimes you go back and do it again. Okay? Eject means throw. Well, you throw it back. Let's just say, for instance, I were to throw this at Ezekiel, and he rejected it. He rejected it. See, it came back. See, magic. Want to see it again? It's not magic. Watch, watch, watch. I'll throw it to Mr. E, and he's going to reject it. There, see? It got rejected. It came back to me. No, we got to do it again. Mr. E's getting too playful. He's like, again, please. Okay, look, you're on the screen here. You're good enough, okay? So eject. So in this case, it was rejected again. Okay? So, basically, you notice I sent it out, it came back. And it came back again and again. Reject. So, notice I gave him a project. He was against the project. He would interject every time I spoke. I tried to make it fun and inject some fun on the subject, what we were talking about. He rejected it. He threw it back and said, I don't want it. You keep it. Now, what does eject mean? They're similar. Very similar. E is not for Mr. E, as I know you might think it's Mr. E, and he's putting his name in there. No, in this case, E is the same as X. X means out of. Out of. When something is out of a relationship, right? Ex-boyfriend, ex-wife, or extreme, out of normal range. Out of. Okay? So in this case, out of. So if you eject something, you throw it out. Okay? If you're ejected from a room, they will throw you out of the room. So you got ejected from a party, it means literally they physically picked you up and threw you out the door. That's why you heard the door. I got ejected. Threw me out. Eject. Finally, DE. What does DE mean? DE, once again, these are all Latin prefixes. Okay, we'll have other lessons, and I'm sure there are. If you see mood, muse, or vert, go check them out. Okay? It's never, you can never go over these things too many times, but what you'll find is your vocabulary will build very quickly when you can understand there are common meanings to parts of words. DE in Latin means or it can either mean away from or down. That's why you descend stairs. You go down, you descend. Okay? Your descendants are your children beneath you, down from you or away from you. In this case, deject means throw down. If you're dejected, you'll start to cry because your eyes will be down and you'll be crying. Your spirit is down. You feel really sad. I was dejected, so I left sad. Mr. E wanted it. We talked about a project, a job we were doing. I projected my voice for you to show you the verb. He objected. I showed you what an object is. Objects. Or to say, no, I object. Interject is then between two things. So you interject between, usually words, you interjected. Inject, put in, throw inside, is that throw part. Subject means put somebody underneath something so they cause them to endure something bad. Okay, so you make them endure something bad. Or subject is what's everything that goes underneath in the grammar sense. Eject, E remember is out of. Eject, out of a plane. Oh, I forgot reject. Reject means back and again. Back and again. Hey, hey, hey! I knew that was going to happen. And dejected, to feel sad. Okay, so we got an adjective form here. One of the few different ones, the adjective form. Dejected person, dejected look. Well, we've done our vocabulary pyramid. Once again, he's climbing to the top because you will as well once you go to, well, where do you have to go to climb to the top of learning English? Let me send you there. It's a place I know in Ontario. Yeah, they wish. It is www. Projecting my voice. Don't object right now. Vid. We won't reject you anyhow. .com, where you will never leave dejected. I know that was really corny, I know. I should turn off the camera, just turn off the camera. Turn it off, it's bad. Bye.